Hey folks, PJ here with Warbird Alley, and tonight we're doing a Warbird Alley Warbird review on the ESM P-51D. This is a slightly smaller airplane. It's a 71-inch all fiberglass fuselage P-51. Now, this is a remake of the ESM P-51 that you've seen in years past. They changed the color scheme on it. Now, they still, VQ Warbirds is who produces this airplane under www.vqwarbirds.com. However, this is a brand new version with a brand new color scheme with the Gunfighter color scheme. So we're going to dive into this airplane tonight and kind of take a look at it, see some of the scale details they've enhanced the airplane with, and just take a closer look. So let's get on it. Okay, pilots, so here we have the ESM P-51D Mustang out of the box. All I did was open the box and pull the contents out, and as you can see, this is exactly how it's packaged. Putting the instruction manual down, everything is pre-packaged in this, wrapped in like some sort of a foam paper, and then placed within plastic covering. And then everything was actually hot glued in place in the box. There was a whole bunch of compartments, and then everything was kind of glued in place, so nothing was able to shake around. What we're going to do now is just kind of take the airplane apart piece by piece and look at each different component and see what we can find. Okay, taking a moment here to look at the fuselage and the cowling. I'm going to start at the fuselage. Again, as I pan through this, you can see the scale detail as far as panel lines and, of course, a little bit of rivet action there. And as always, I'm going to flip this over so you can see this bottom hatch. This hatch comes off. You can bolt it on. This way, if you want to put a scale retractable tail wheel or just the main wire wheel that comes with the kit, either way, they keep it open for you so you have some options there. Since we've got the airplane upside down, let's kind of take a look inside here. And again, you've got your servo bay as well as your fuel tank. The fuel tank does come with the airplane and will fit in that bay. Let's kind of go up and inside the plane here a little bit if we can. I got to go kind of at catty corner. You can see the pull systems are all set up for both the elevators and the rudder. And as far as a cockpit goes, again, not much there as far as scale detail. You can design this as to basically put a pilot bust in, as well as cutting this out and making a full cockpit. There is a full cockpit kit that you can get for this airplane. Now, let's go forward here a little bit, and as you can see here, your lines, I did not mark these. These came from the factory to line up the engine of choice. And then, of course, look at this cowling. Again, fiberglass, and it's pretty scale as far as the scale lines go. The artwork is really nice, and again, plenty of room for a 20cc, 30cc gas motor. And as we always do, let's take a look at some measurements. And for the nose cone here, it looks like you're going to be right at 4.5 inches. Now, the nose cone tapers in a little bit, so as I do this, it looks like you're going to be actually 5 inches side to side. Now, as far as going down about to where the engine head would stick out, you're looking at about 6 inches from the top and about 4 inches from where the spinner nose cone would be. So again, plenty of room in the cowling. As I flip the cowling over, we'll do the same thing in here just so you can see side-by-side comparison. And we're looking at about 5.5 inches back here. And of course, what I do like about this as well is that the fuselage is kind of caved in here a little bit, so try to do this with one hand, but you can see as you slide the cowling on, it fits into place without that line. Of course, I'm doing a bad job because I'm doing it with one hand, but you get the idea. Okay, so opening up the wing, I got the left and right panel. The panel closest to us is upside down, so I can show you some basic servo hatches. You have one here for the flaps. You also have one here for the ailerons. The ailerons are pre-hinged but not glued in yet. The flaps as well, they articulate. Very nice. Again, you would have to mount your servo, and there is a cutout that you have to just cut out the covering. The top of the wing here is nice and smooth as well. Again, the factory, these are painted at the factory to match the fuselage. They also have these scale guns that you would cut out and of course place on the leading edge. And as in all of their airplanes, if you can kind of see the line here, this is actually left this way, so those folks who don't want to put retracts in the airplane and just want to fly it with the gear, the standard that comes with the plane, can do that. However, for those who want to make retract available, that are available through VQ Warbirds, you can cut this out, and so you don't have this unsightly opening into the wheel well of the airplane with all this balsa wood. They actually provide these, which are really nice. These have to be trimmed, but these are little tiny pockets that go inside inside the wheel well, so you have a nice, smooth, and clean silver wheel well when you're done. Just again, as a scale modeler, I appreciate that, especially in these ARFs. Overall impression, though, the covering is nice and tight. I don't see any wrinkles. There are lightning holes in the outer panels, of course, to keep the weight down, but overall, it's a beautiful wing. Okay, we have a couple things here I want to show you real quick. The rudder and elevator and stab. Notice here that the rudder is not just a slab of wood, it's actually 3D. It's been tapered just so it can match the fuselage. It also has, I thought this was really cool. This is the counterbalance weight. See how it's painted OD green? I went and looked at the real one, and sure enough, they painted that as well, OD green, to match the tail. Again, elevators have the counterweights, which is scale on the airplane. They are airfoiled. And notice how you got black here on the top and white on the bottom. I did take a look at that to see if that was scale, and sure enough it was. That kind of bypassed me. I thought it was going to be black on the bottom as well as the top. Nothing super special here. Again, this is your scale exhaust that you cut out and glue to the side of the fuselage. And look at this. This is our scoop. And I just wanted to show you this. This is a thick piece. It's light, but it's a thick piece of fiberglass. So of course, if you have those belly landings, you don't have to worry about this thing ripping off. I mean, this is stout. Some really quick things to notice here is, of course, all of your hardware, it comes in one bag, and so bringing it out is easy to get to. Of course, your fuel tank I told you about earlier, gas fuel line is provided. The hardware package is actually really nice. Here's something over here that I like as well. If you can see in the package, this is an actual template, so when you go to mount your wings together and glue them together, this template assures that the wing incidence is going to be the same on both sides. Again, here's our canopy. The canopy is really nice. It's I'm leaving it in the package, but as you can see, it's painted to match the OD green with the silver back, and of course that does match. And of course, last but not least, I thought this was cool. These are actual scale fuel tanks that they give you. Of course, you have to build them with a little bit of ingenuity. It wouldn't take much to make those droppable. Again, this is just a scale feature of the airplane that you can use if you would like to. You don't have to have them on, but again, it's kind of nice to have something a little bit more than just the basic ARF package. Well, here it is, the P-51 Mustang. This is my favorite part of any review, is when I get to actually sort of put it together and kind of look at it. It's kind of hard to see the scale outlines and everything without the canopy. Of course, here it is right here. I didn't want to obviously cut it out just yet, but again, the canopy does match the overall frame of the airplane. It's a beautiful scheme. It's done up in a matte finish, so it's not glossy, which I think is scale. Now, if you notice, there's no markings as far as insignias, and the reason for that is what VQ Warbirds has done with their newer models, that this is the Gunfighter scheme, but there was more than just the Gunfighter that this airplane was flown by. So even though the color scheme was the same, there's a different tail numbers and just different nose art, and so there's a couple of different sticker sheets that come with the airplane that you can then choose to pick. If you don't want the Gunfighter and you want to do something different, you can. I like that option as well. Again, that's something that I appreciate as a modeler. With so many ARFs at the field, you can bring an airplane that you can actually tailor to yourself a little bit. Again, all of the other color schemes that we've had in the past, Glamorous Glennis I think was one, as well as the P-51D models, are still produced and sold through VQ Warbirds, but this is their newest one, and I've got to tell you, so far I'm very impressed. I'm looking forward to putting a 34, we're going to put a EME 35cc gas motor in it. I also have have one of these done up in Miss America, which is really the exact opposite. It's super shiny. It does have the scale detail as well, so it'll be really neat to see these two side by side. Again, this airplane is a fiberglass fuselage with a fully built up wing and stab and rudder. Comes out of the factory looking like as you see it here. You have the options of putting whatever color scheme you want on it as far as the nose art, depending on the 5 different versions, I think is what they say come with it. It's flaps, ailerons, retracts, just like any other major airplane. It does come with the wire wheels. You can actually purchase not only a cockpit kit, but a either Sierra retracts, ESM, I think Century Jet Models makes retracts for these as well. So you'd have a lot of different options with this airplane, depending on how much you want to scale it out. Again, you can put the basic sticker sheet a cockpit in here with a pilot bust, put your canopy on, go fly, or if you want to scale it out, you can purchase a full-scale cockpit as well. We'll be doing reviews on the cockpit kits fairly soon as well. So anyway, here it is, 71 inches. It's categorized as a 20cc to 30cc, as well as about the 150 to 180 4-stroke and comparable electric motors. Again, I'm PJ Ash here at Warbird Alley. This is the Warbird review of the ESM P-51 Mustang. Have a great night.